Good morning from Downing Street. It's Monday, July the 20th.
It's on the day that Labour's Andy Burnham becomes the UK's 7th Prime Minister in 10 years.
Thank you very much, and good morning. I'm about to visit His Majesty the King to offer my resignation. I go with good grace, I go with a smile, and I go proud of everything that we have achieved.
And now he makes his way to head to Buckingham Palace to formally hand in his resignation as Prime Minister to the King.
These are our images of the last man, the monarch who will call Keir Starmer Prime Minister. And there we see the convoy and the police escorts as Andy Burnham makes his way into Buckingham Palace, where the King will ask him to form a government.
Welcome to Buckingham Palace. Please, let's go and see the King.
The car door about to open with the new Prime Minister in that Range Rover, and he'll be wandering up to the microphone shortly and no doubt greeted by cheers. Here he comes.
I am acutely conscious that I am the 6th person in the last 10 years to walk up this street, the 7th Prime Minister since 2016, making this a moment for reflection and new resolution. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity. Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again, the moment we bring back hope. Thank you very much, everybody.
Hello there, I'm Eleanor Moritz. Welcome to North West Today. The headlines this Monday lunchtime. The King of the North making history in the South as he becomes Prime Minister, promising the biggest change in British politics in 40 years.
Let us make this the moment when Britain starts to believe again, the moment we bring back hope.
And from Leeds to London, we have a special report on Andy Burnham's journey to the top office in number 10. Well, Andy Burnham has pledged that he will put people at the centre of everything he does as Prime Minister. The former Greater Manchester Mayor arrived in Downing Street just over an hour ago to applause from his supporters. He said he will bring about the biggest change in British politics in decades. And our political editor, Annabel Tiffin, is at Westminster, and you've certainly witnessed some history there this morning.
Yeah, Ellie, I feel quite privileged actually to have had really a front row seat on Downing Street today to see the comings and goings of the Prime Minister. It all starts, I suppose, quite sadly with the goings of one Prime Minister. Sir Keir Starmer left Downing Street with his wife, Lady Victoria, to go and see the King. There were lots of people out there cheering him and saying goodbye to him. But before he left, he did address the crowd, and he said that he talked about some of the achievements over the last 2 years and also how he was going to support Andy Burnham.
As I now pass the baton to Andy Burnham, I wish him every success. He has my full support.
And Annabelle, Andy Burnham himself inside number 10 now, and he's already made his first speech as Prime Minister.
Yes, this is something that Andy Burnham has, maybe not publicly, but wanted for some time. He's tried twice to be Labour leader before, but he failed. But now he is MP for Makefield, and now he is Prime Minister. So this is quite a momentous day for him. Obviously, he too went to see the King, and then he came down Downing Street with his wife, Marie-France, and the great and the good from the Northwest were there to greet him. All sorts of people that have helped him along the way while he's been Mayor of Greater Manchester. And he didn't stand at a lectern like Keir Starmer and like most Prime Ministers. He just spoke at a microphone, perhaps proving that he is a man of the people. And he said this was a time of reflection and new resolution.
I will put the care of people at the heart of everything I do. I will give this my all, and I ask you all to pull with me. Let's build a new national sense of unity, of common purpose and positivity.
So the work begins now, and he will immediately be informing people of who is going to be in his cabinet, who are going to be his ministers, and we're going to be keeping an eye on that through the day to see if any are from the Northwest. Ellie.
Annabelle, thank you. Well, Andy Burnham will be the first Prime Minister of modern times from the Northwest. He was born on Merseyside when it was still Lancashire, brought up in Cheshire and moulded as a politician in Greater Manchester, truly across the region then. And Phil McCann looks at his political journey.
UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer resigning.
Set to take over by all accounts, Andy Burnham.
The King of the North travelled south.
C'est l'homme de Manchester, Andy Burnham.
Der frühere Bürgermeister von Manchester, Burnham.
The whole world's talking about Andy Burnham.
Это Andy Burnham.
Andrew Burnham is the Labour MP.
But we've been talking about him for more than a quarter of a century.
On Tuesday, Labour Party members chose a parliamentary candidate for the safe seat of Lee.
I grew up in this area and I know it well. I know the people well.
Andy Burnham is a shrewd political operator.
He has an ability, to connect with the room, to light up a room.
He's a great communicator, but he has not thought through the detail.
Andy Burnham became MP for Lee near Wigan in 2001 after 7 years of working in politics. 4 years later, he'd become a junior minister. And then in 2008, Gordon Brown made him Secretary of State for Culture, Media and Sport, which led to a turning point, when he had to address the crowd at a Hillsborough memorial at Anfield. The next day he went to Downing Street and began a process which led to the truth, if not full justice, for the 97 who were crushed to death 20 years before.
It's a credit to Andy, it's a credit to all the people who's worked so hard.
He'd later say those chants changed him.
You helped me find the political courage to do something.
It cemented a reputation as a politician who sees things through.
Can I stop you there, Andy? The care won't improve.
But relatives of those who died because of bad care at Stafford Hospital don't see him like that. In his next post as Health Secretary, Andy Burnham refused to agree to their demands for a full public inquiry into what's regarded as one of the biggest scandals in the history of the NHS. After 2010, with Labour out of office, Andy Burnham tried and failed twice to lead the party.
Andy Burnham.
But in 2017, another turning point, when he announced he'd leave Westminster and stand to be the Mayor of Greater Manchester. Now, he could say he was an outsider.
The system isn't naturally built to favour.
It's just not in the mindset.
No, it's not in the mindset.
As Mayor, Andy Burnham put homelessness front and centre.
I will commit 15% of my mayoral salary on an ongoing basis.
Homeless people were promised a bed every night. It led to big cuts in rough sleeping, although it has recently been on the rise again. But Andy Burnham changed course over plans for a clean air zone, a charge for more polluting vans and lorries to drive into the region's 10 boroughs. He backed the plans until a backlash.
So we don't really need a clean air zone at all.
And so what? Certainly not from your point of view up here?
Desperately not.
Neither side of the debate ended up being happy with him.
He said he's a flip-flop politician. He's a popularist.
I do feel like he stepped back from the scheme, realising it was going to be unpopular with the public. In politics, you have to sometimes be strong.
A lot of the input on that was negative or
critical. And he had to deal with that pretty much week in, week out.
If you're the Prime Minister, where the buck stops, you can't go with the flow. You have to say, we're going to do this.
Yes, it was a really turbulent time for him, but not soon after that, he did get re-elected as Greater Manchester Mayor.
Then, failings at Greater Manchester Police, where thousands of crimes had gone unrecorded, led to an apology from him and calls to resign.
What did he do? He appointed, frankly, a tough guy, Chief Constable, Stephen Watson.
But control of the buses, with his long-argued-for B network with its cheaper fares, is possibly Andy Burnham's most visible local legacy. Outside Greater Manchester, though, Mr Burnham gets much credit for the economic success of Manchester. You have to go back to the 80s to see the beginning of the rebirth of a city where lots of industry had died, led then by a young Graham Stringer.
It was the work of people who came before him that he has grasped.
And then there was the COVID showdown with Boris Johnson, the showdown that earned Andy Burnham the nickname the King of the North.
This is no way to run the country in a national crisis. It isn't.
It was one of his defining moments, definitely.
It was a name and a narrative that stuck, of a mayor fighting the government, fighting the establishment from the north. It helped him get down the West Coast main line and back into Parliament.
One of the things that people have said is you were using it as a vehicle to raise your profile with a view to going back to Westminster. Is that true?
I think this will be my last job in politics.
Andy Burnham, member for Makerfield.
Turns out that wasn't quite right then. But so many in Labour believe Andy Burnham, the lad from Liverpool, the Evertonian Manchester music fan, will be their resurrection because his personal popularity appears to have, so far, propelled him past the pitfalls of modern politics. Phil McCann, BBC North West Today.
Yeah, and the sun's certainly shining on Andy Burnham today, Molly.
Absolutely, and whilst there's lots of change at Westminster, not as much change in terms of the weather as we head into the rest of this week. It's going to be another dry week. We should have a good deal of sunshine, but also some variable cloud around at times. But temperatures a bit closer to average this week, but we have this big chunky area of high pressure out to the west. We're still drawing in a northerly flow, so that will reflect in the temperatures. It's not going to feel as hot as last week, but still warm and pleasant. Very much like this afternoon. Further areas of cloud just towards the east should burn away as we head into the evening. Highs of around 25 degrees Celsius, cooler on the Isle of Man. Overnight tonight, lengthy clear spells, then we'll start to see cloud just feed in. It's going to feel lows of around 10 degrees Celsius, not quite as cool as last night, but yeah, the weather is pretty similar as we head into the rest of the week. Ellie.
Molly, thank you. That's it from us for this lunchtime. We're back with more from the North West and Westminster at 6:30. Until then, have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.